All right, hey, listen. So, I think today was a success. We were able to squat and lunge without pain. First time in a while, I will take it. I'm very happy about that. I have like 5 or 6 moves for you. Again, I don't really care how often you do these. The hope is if they're pain-free, you can't do them enough. Definitely the ones with the band. As soon as you get the bands, I want you doing these on repeat because we got to teach that lower half, you got to teach that hip that it can squat pain-free, that it can lunge pain-free. It's a bummer that we need the bands to do so at the moment, but you know, it won't be a bummer for long. Again, we're going to get this ship righted very quickly. So once you get this band, step through with the right leg. Get this as high and tight as you can. All right, I'm going to raise mine just a touch. Okay, get that real high and tight. So we found that with the squats, as long as you're getting enough tension pulling back, I don't care how you do with your hands, whether you're mimicking a bar squat or mimicking a front squat, but just the idea that we were able to squat pain-free was great. I want you to do reps both with the bands pulling you backwards and then also with the band pulling you laterally. I think that lateral pull is really good as well. Heck, meet me halfway. Let's do a little bit of a 45, right? Let's do a posterior lateral pull while you're doing your squats there. Also had really good luck with the lunges. So let's prop up that front leg. Again, make sure you're getting pull where you need it. This band, as much, you might want to start hip high, but something like the lunges, you might find, hey, I do a lot better when that stretch or that pull is coming from a little bit lower. You know, so I'm gonna go just a touch lower there. Gonna give you that angle pull, right? You work on your depth. You can work on your forward lunge. You can work on your depth of your lunge. The whole thing is we want hip flexion without pain. So if that band allows you to get hip flexion without pain, let's rock it. Another way you can use the band was a high band, and simply just holding on high, this takes pressure off, takes weight down, right? And what did we learn today? If the intensity goes down, the range of motion can go up. So by holding on, you're able to do a little bit deeper hip flexion, a little deeper squat than you would on your own. This is another good way to work on squats. So I don't care really how you go about it. Banded around the leg, banded high, but let's get a few dozen pain-free squats and lunges in every day. Now, if you do that with the band and it's pinching, okay, reset. Let's stretch real good. We're gonna do some rotation stretch. Let's get the internal rotation stretch going. Let's get the hip flexor stretch going, and then let's come back to it. You might need to warm up like crazy just to make those pain-free, and that's okay. They might not feel great 8 a.m. right out the gate, but we've proved today that we can get there. So whatever you gotta do to get there. So I love the band around the leg, squats and lunges, as well as the up high. As far as like specific work to do, I liked this hip internal stretch a lot for you. Now you can do this seated. I think that I've always enjoyed doing it on the floor. So you kind of get your hip switches like you would normally do, right? But let's lay that right one down. Let's pin it down. And then from here, any body position you want. You can rotate, you can lean back, you can lean forward. It's just gonna be tight, right? And what we found with yours was the right one was significantly tighter than the left. So let's go ahead and work on getting that right hip a little more comfortable in internal rotation. Again, we're doing this because you've had this outward external rotated sit for so long, and I think you've just gotten really, really flexible one way and really tight the other. So we're just trying to right the ship here a little bit. Get some of that internal rotation back, and that will help you with all the squats. So again, this isn't sets, this isn't reps, this is just spend some time down here. If you can study like this, great. If you need to pull the chair around, again, kind of more of a seated, pinned rotation position. It's probably 80% as much of a stretch as I was getting on the floor, but man, if I could sit here and do some work, you know, I want your new resting positions to be, we want them to kind of get to be the opposite of what you normally would do. If you normally like this kind of sit, let's get away from that. we're gonna do the opposite. You know, if you're crossing this all the time, let's cross this a little more. Let's cross figure 4 a little more. Let's just do some different types of things, all right? Get away from your old patterns a bit. For hip flexor, I do think your hip flexor is a little tight. I got 2 for you. The more aggressive version, excuse me, again, when you get those bands, this one's an easy one to do, laying on the floor. Wrap that around your foot. We choke up on the band, get some tension. And so this one's nice because we're kind of mirroring or marrying stretching and strengthening, right? I can give myself a really good stretch. I can give myself some strength by pushing into it. Some stretch and some strength. If you can hike up that leg a little bit on something, maybe pillow, bolster, whatever you got at home, hike that up a little more. That's gonna bring it a little more into the right hip. Also, you tend to lean towards your left when you do this. So try to lean a little bit more towards the right. And that's just it's just a good way to work your rectus and work that hip flexor. I don't think they are the cause for your pain, but I think squatting funny for a long time here and sitting funny, I think it's causing it to shorten and tighten up a little bit. Obviously, you just have a lot more sensation with tightness on that right side. So working it at length here, big stretch with some light work will hopefully remedy that. Again, that's a good resting position as well. Now, if that one's a little bit aggressive or if you just don't have the time, kind of a shortcut you can do for that hip flexor was just hanging off the edge, right? Just getting a good stretch. Bend that knee if you choose, but otherwise just some time with gravity kind of doing that work. Seated posture. So that's really it. So again, stretching, we have the hip, stretching, we have the hip going in, seated or floor. We have the psoas, the hip flexor. You can do that face down with the band. You can do that sitting off the edge of the bed. Get kind of light, casual with those. I don't want those to be really aggressive workout type moves. I want those to be, hey, I can do that 30 seconds here and 50 seconds here, and just kind of sprinkle those in throughout the day. Just knowing that your right hip needs a lot more attention right now than your left hip. And then, again, you can squat pain-free. So whether you're doing that band-assisted, rope-assisted, band around your hip, let's get quite a few pain-free squats and lunges in if we can, just to kind of prove those mechanics work and they can be pain-free. Remember, we also talked about leaving here, you were pain-free with a front squat, right? Just holding a light weight out in front, doing a front squat. If you wake up tomorrow and you're pain-free still with that front squat, I think that's fine to do, but I just wouldn't beat it up too much. Again, you're gonna be sore from these because you're working some joint mechanics that haven't been worked in a while. So I think the rule is just gonna be the more aggressive it is, the less I need you to do. Something that's really light and easy, like the hip stretching and like the psoas stretching, I think you can do a lot more frequency on those. So don't have to win, like I say, that normal back squats with weight on it isn't coming tomorrow. So no big rush on these. Let's keep that easy. But eventually we know we want to start adding weight. It's just going to be the next step once we can do things pain-free with just body weight. I think that's all I got. Hopefully that helps. I'm really happy we're able to make some headway here in the clinic and get to some pain-free angles that we hadn't had in a long time, it sounds like. So keep working on it. Let me know if anything comes up or any of these start pinching. We can hopefully adjust on the fly. All right, take care. Bye.